Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da da. Sarah Louise.
Yes, ma'am. How are you? It's been a while.
I know. You've been doing things.
I have been doing things.
What have you been doing, Sarah Louise?
Oh well, there's just this little.
Sarah Louise, did you get married?
I did. I also got engaged.
Yeah,
and I had a birthday.
Getting married, don't it?
Well, I had a birthday and then got proposed to, and so then I was engaged, and now I just had a wedding.
And you had a pre-launch for your book.
I did. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I did that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the illustrations are just about finished being done. And it's exciting.
The layout person's going to start working on it soon.
Yay! Yay!
Hey, for those who are coming in and watching this on the replay, my name's Cyndilu. I'm the creator and founder of Be Bold You, the personality expression system that helps you to figure out who in the heck you are, who you wanted to become, and who you want to step into being. Woo, woo, woo. And to realize that you are more than any description can ever tell you. You get to choose and decide who you are. No one gets to tell you that.
That's so right.
What do you think of that, Miss Sarah Louise?
I think it's so right, you know. I think the only person who should be telling you what you want to do and where you want to go is you.
You. So tell us about you.
Me.
You.
What am I telling you about?
Who are you?
What would you like to know?
Who are you?
Who am I? Well, I am Sarah Louise. I am a married lady. I am in the second half of my century.
Yes.
Very exciting. I'm an author. I am an administrator. I am a singer, a photographer. I am a truck driver. The big trucks, not the little trucks.
And big trucks.
Yeah. They're so much fun. But right now I'm on hiatus and I am exploring another avenue of my working career. And I'm exploring the online aspect of being an author.
Yeah. Hello. Why would you need to go online as an author?
COVID.
So anyway, we're not going to talk about that today. We're here to actually celebrate Sarah. I want to really celebrate you today.
Okay, so what does that look like to you, Miss Cyndilu?
Sarah, you have been key to my understanding New Zealand culture and life. So if I have a thwarted view of it, it's probably your fault. No, your influence, not your fault.
I've probably got a distorted view of Americans thanks to you.
That could very well be true. Yeah, we connected when I first moved here.
Yeah.
Not long after.
Yeah.
We've been connected ever since, and I've watched you grow and grown and grow some more. And you've watched me do the same. We've really been there to cheer each other on and to encourage one another. I really feel there are times when we're doing online business where we feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason I have not let go of doing this broadcast, because I like being with you.
Aw. Yeah.
I like
well,
connecting here. Yeah, I like connecting here. I'm wondering if it simply needs to be a Cyndilu and Friends, let's just have a chat every week. And whatever comes up, and we need to stop worrying about, or I need to stop worrying about, it's got to go somewhere. What do you think of that, Miss Sarah Louise?
I think that would be a challenge for you. Are you up for it?
If you'll come every week and have a chat with me, I am up for it.
Let's do that thing then.
Then it's just, yeah, it's simply this show is going to become Cyndilu and Friends talking about what's happening in our lives, period. And through that, people will find out what we're doing in business because we are both in business and we're both doing our lives. That's part of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
The other part of our lives is the beloveds that each of us have,
Mm-hmm.
who care for us and love us and are there for us.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't shared a lot of my story on here. I've shared a little bit. I don't know if I've shared it on this particular channel or this particular show, but since we're creating a new show, it's all about celebrating life and what's happening in life now.
And all about celebrating me, but hey, let's,
Yeah, we're done with you.
I love that about you.
We need to do more.
Oh, no, this is a really good idea. Oh, no. Oh, pretty. I will listen talk about this for a while.
What's my name? What's my name in your
Cindy
books?
Squirrel.
What's
Cindy
that?
Lou Squirrel.
Are you gonna have Cyndilu the Squirrel? You should totally. I will give you permission to use my name in your books. Totally can have Cyndilu the Squirrel. Well, I'm beginning to embrace that about myself, and I feel, and I know that that's what this whole shift is for this show, is embracing the fact that I just need to talk to somebody. No, let me rephrase that. My desire is to talk with somebody and enjoy the conversation and not have to tie it to making an income. Wow.
How cool is that, eh?
That's pretty huge. Uh-oh, she's got stuff happening in the background. I don't hear it.
I've got diggers and all sorts of exciting things behind me, and it's so hard not to look. And then they start making noises again. I'm concentrating. And then it just gets too much, and I gotta have a look.
I want to see. I want to watch them.
Yeah. I want to be out there.
And watching the diggers go is like play for you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it really is. Yeah, watching them do their thing and critiquing their skills and looking at how I could. This is not I'm better than you thing. This is simply
we're back to celebrating you again.
This is just simply okay, yep, they're learning, or I haven't seen that done before. That's really cool. How could I do that? What did he do that was different? Ooh. But anyway, you wanted to talk about celebrating our beloveds, and you were being brave about considering the possibility of sharing a story here.
Yeah. This morning, I'll share this morning's story.
You want to pursue that?
What's that?
I was just saying, do you want to pursue that?
Sure. Our care support person came in yesterday and she was not feeling well. I let her work the shift and I told her not to come back until Wednesday, which now means it's all on me. Making sure he gets his meals, making sure he gets out of bed, making sure he gets dressed, that his medication is changed. And that includes changing an electric pump that's attached to him 24/7. And giving him morning meds. So let's see, the morning is get him up, get him dressed, morning meds, meal, the pump, which I call different than morning meds, and CBD, because that's like our lifesaver right now. And then getting a jacket on him and out the door. And then in addition to that, he wanted his YouTube put onto the big screen. So I had to do that this morning before I came on here. Make him a cup of tea. I made myself a cup of coffee, which I have right here, and it usually gets cold because I get on here and forget I have it. It's cold. So what I had envisioned for my morning is not what happened.
Have you had your morning meds and your breakfast?
That's a possible no, although I did drink a little of, I also made him shakes for the day, so he's got shakes. Well, that was part of his breakfast, but he also has another one for later today. I do a double batch. So I drank a little bit of his shake. Does that count?
No.
I ate some potato chips. No. I did not take my morning meds. No. I will do that when I get off here. Unless you want me to make you full screen, and I'll go do it now.
Well, that's up to you.
No, I'll remember. It's a challenge though, right? Like I have pictures of Robin looking amazing for his son's wedding, and the whole bottom of my skirt is wrinkled to get out.
Yeah.
Right? Always so focused on, as a carer, always so focused on making sure he's got what he needs and he's good to go and he looks good and things are all put together. And then I'm looking at those pictures now going, well, that proves I'm a carer. Like you can just, it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just super funny because when I first met him, I was like, oh, he's too scruffy. And now I'm the one that's scruffy because I'm taking care of him and making him not scruffy.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. However, my love for him grows every day.
I know, right?
Yeah. There are days, though, where I wonder, it's like, what life would be like. Because I didn't know life that long without it.
Yeah.
He was almost a year and a month in. So we didn't have long. By 2.5 years in, he was having his first freezing episodes. Like this morning, he was ready to, or he needed to, no, last night. He's out at the sink. I've brushed his teeth, done all those things. And then I left him standing there and he had his cane. So I'm like, okay, go head to bed. I'll be right in. And I went to do something else and I came back out and I'm like, he's like, I need your help. What happens with Parkinson's is their brain freezes. So because he was this far from the bench, his brain didn't think there was enough room to turn. So I have to take his arm and like turn him and then he can start moving. And then we got to the doorway and he stopped again. I'm like, no, don't let the door stop you. Just keep going right out through that door. Because doors will stop them like dead in their tracks. They come up to a doorway and they just, it's interesting. More and more of that's happening. While he's physically able to do a lot some days, like he's out running a table saw, and then he'll have those moments where he's like completely off and frozen. So. Yeah. I have to keep looking at what can I do, not what can't I do anymore. Because there's heaps I can't do. Can't just jump in the car and head out the door and not think about, are you all set? Do you have everything you need? I don't even think about the fact that I have to do all that before I go. I just do it.
Just your routine, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll ask him like 2 or 3 times. He'll say yes. And I'll still ask him another 2 times usually before I actually go out the door. Are you sure? Are you sure you're good? Yeah. So. Yeah.
So in amongst all of his needs, where are you?
Why does everybody keep asking me that question? How many carers get frustrated because everybody keeps asking that question? I'm just asking. I've learned that naps are actually a gift. And I probably use them from time to time as an escape to get a break. So, and I'm learning to let go of the guilt for that and be okay with the fact that my body just needs to rest.
I think that people are recognizing more and more the toll that it takes on the carer.
Yeah.
And I think that we get frustrated as carers because we don't want to think about ourselves, because we don't want to admit how awful it is. Because if we do that, then the enormity of the task that we're faced with comes crushing down around our shoulders. And when that happens, then we just don't feel like we can cope. And then, we're left struggling in a mess that is of somebody else's doing. And I think that we push that question away because we don't want to answer it.
Yeah.
Because of how the situation is so very different to what we imagined it would be.
Oh my gosh, yes. So very different.
At least that was my experience.
This is not what I signed on for.
No, it's not. And yet here we are, and we're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And
in reality, we wouldn't have it any other way. Because we love the person. As far as what I mean by that is, I wouldn't want to walk out the door.
No, I'm not suggesting that for a second. However,
would I love him to be absolutely healthy and dancing me around the kitchen all the time? Heck yes. Heck yes.
Yeah. And it's letting go of that dream to accept the reality. That's where the challenge lies for us. Do you find?
Yeah.
Do you
and finding ways for that little moment of connection. I love the New Zealand way of kissing, the forehead and the nose, or connecting, or whatever it is, the Maori way of.
Oh, the hongi.
Yeah, I guess that's I don't know what it's called. I've seen it done, and Robin and I do it often.
So the hongi is the forehead and the nose together, pressed together, and it's done in greeting. It's done to breathe each other's breath. It's done to regulate. It's done for intimacy, for welcome, for vulnerability, and for solidarity, is my understanding.
Yeah, and all of those things come into what we're dealing with every day. I find ourselves doing that more and more. Pretty much every day. We have a moment where we just stand and be.
The need for intimacy, the need for connection is so visceral that it's extraordinary the way that I'm experiencing it now. But what I noticed, a situation arose last night when I was out, and I came home and I was disturbed and I was not feeling good, and my gut instinct was to lash out. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. I must really be hurting. And then exploring why I was hurting and exploring what I was feeling and exploring, was I actually experiencing a disconnect from this person? And the answer was definitely yes. I was definitely feeling a disconnect from this person. So what does it look like to reconnect? And with you saying about the hongi, It's that connection with another person, and it doesn't matter whether or not anything changes. It's simply the matter of being able to say in that moment, without saying anything, I see you, I feel you, I hear you, I need you, I love you, I am at peace with you, I am connected with you. That's what that is for me. And so the challenge for me today is, how do I broach the subject of that disconnect with this person and say, hey, I'm feeling disconnected from you and our relationship matters. And how do we reconnect in that moment? How do we reconnect knowing that the crazy is going on, knowing that it's very busy, knowing that life is just, that it's about to get even crazy busier? How do we reconnect in the midst of that with all of what life is happening, with all of what is happening in both our lives? And so go on.
Is there also how do we within ourselves let go of our expectation of what connecting looks like? And can we stay connected while we're not in the same space, or while we are in the same space, but there's so much happening that their focus is somewhere else and not on us the way that we'd like it? I don't know exactly what I'm saying.
I think that's a really good question. I think that relationship can become quite selfish sometimes, because we look to it for what we get out of it more so than we do for what we do for the other person.
Yeah, I think of my friend. The reason I say that is I think of one of my best friends in America, and I'm sure this was just gift of God that I was able to do this. But literally, no, there were times when I really was hurt because they didn't have time for me, and I really felt like I needed that connection. I made a decision that their life was happening and it was okay for them to have a life, and that it was okay if I wasn't a part of it right in this moment, and that I would seek for the moments when we could have those connections down the road, and be okay to let go of that I need the connection today. I turned back to God in those moments to reconnect with Him, with Holy Spirit, with Jesus, with, whatever universe, whatever higher power works for you, the listener. I would take it to God and put it at His feet and just say, I really need somebody in my life that can be attentive to me in this area. Can you please send me another if this person can't be it? And I literally ask God for friends.
I'm not looking for another friend. What I'm looking for is, how do I connect with this friend in this moment where it's busy and it's only just, the crazy's only just started. So it's more about, how do I be a good friend to them in this time?
Yeah. So what I was saying was, the way for me to be the best friend that I could be in that time for her, my best friend, who was too busy to have time for me in that moment, to connect the way I felt like connection should happen, was to actually let go and let her be focused on what she needed to be focused on in the moment, while still standing at the side saying, I'm here when you have time. I'm here. and letting go of that it's not now.
Okay.
It was not easy. I am still friends with that person now, 38 years later. I've retained the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get to talk with her as often as I'd like to now? No. Are there still moments where I feel like I really would like to connect with her now and can't? Yes.
Right.
It's the decision that I'm going to continue to love this person, even if I can't connect the way I would like to, even if I can't be there for them the way I see that they could use help. If they're not willing to receive that help, then the best we can do is to stand aside and say, I'm here when you're ready, when you have time. And sometimes it was years between.
It's challenging, isn't it? Friendships and relationships.
Yeah. And we get that disappointment when we place expectations on how the relationship is to be rather than being in the relationship. Does that make sense?
No. But I think I understand what you're meaning.
Yeah. Challenge of being one another's friends is real. And keeping friendships. And our world is so busy right now. Many of us are home around the globe, not necessarily here in New Zealand right now, but many of us are home around the globe, and we're not able to make those connections the way that we have been. So let's think of what are ways we can celebrate, getting back to celebrating friends. We're back to the celebrating. What are ways we can celebrate that friendship and make connection and take our heart that we want to share with that person and give it to them? What I would do is I would send her a card. I will every now and then call her up and say, I'm just calling to say hi and tell you I love you. And I'd hang up the phone. That was it. Like I literally was calling because I knew how busy her life was right in that moment. Letting you know I'm thinking of you. I'm here for you. I love you. I know you're busy. I got to go. Bye. Tell me you're thinking. Or do you want to just get off? Have I rocked your world and I need to let you go? You're good.
No, just chewing over what you said.
I can see you chewing. Must be a big bite.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Speaking of bite, did you see my cake?
Which cake? Your wedding cake?
Yeah, talk about a labor of love.
I did see your wedding cake. I did not, however, get to taste your wedding cake. I was quite sad.
You didn't?
No, because I was outside feeding Robin ice cream.
Oh.
When the cake got passed around. So when I came back in, I didn't even know where to go to get it. So.
Oh. There's not an awful lot of it left, but I'm sure I can find you a piece.
That would be awesome.
Are you going to Balclutha today?
No. No. I don't know when I'm going again. Are you going through Balclutha?
Mm-hmm.
What time are you going through? We should probably take offline.
Yeah.
Here's exactly where Sarah will be if you want to stalk her.
Yeah, the joys of living in a rural community. There go the fire sirens.
Yeah, I hear them.
Mm. Yep, volunteer fire brigade.
Yeah, I hope it's not something serious. Although, why would the alarms go up if it wasn't? But I still hope it isn't.
Yeah, right.
I can hear those. I do not hear the diggers, but I do hear the alarm going off in the background. Sarah, I adore you. Just saying.
I love you too.
Thank you for being you. Thank you for going on this journey with me. And thank you for receiving my hard words to you when I don't realize they're going to be hard, and they are. Or even when I do realize they might be and I still say them.
You're welcome.
Because you don't have to receive it. You could just say, I'm out of here, and leave the studio, and away you go, right?
Yeah, right. But I mean, am I likely to do that?
No, which is why we're friends, because we do stick it out for each other and we do stay in the relationship. That's the thing, right? Is staying in the conversation. So how do you start conversation with her or him, the person that you're going through this with at the moment, want to connect more with? How do you start conversation and stay in the conversation is the key.
Yeah, that was the question for last night. Mac and I were just, we were working that through. How do I start that conversation? Because it's me that's feeling it. How do I start that conversation? Knowing that life has been crazy busy ever since the beginning of the year. Mac and I haven't even had our Christmas holidays yet, and here we are, the middle of March.
Yeah.
We haven't had a honeymoon, and we're in the middle of March. We got married 9 days ago, and we haven't had honeymoon yet.
Yeah.
So is that going to happen? Yeah, probably eventually, but
at some point you will get away. You will have part of what's happening with honeymoons is people aren't able to jump on a plane and go to Aruba or what is it? Rarotonga. You're not able to just jump on a plane and go to Rarotonga, which I think would be an amazing place for a honeymoon. And I have not been there yet either. I don't want to come on your honeymoon, though. Just let's make that clear.
Yeah, well, yeah, no.
There are people who have taken their mother-in-laws with them on their honeymoons. I'm not sure.
No. Ain't gonna happen.
The first key that perhaps the marriage isn't going to last. The mother-in-law comes on the honeymoon.
Maybe that's okay with you, but no.
But
actually, no. Ain't going to happen. No.
Definitely not. Oh, let's see what we have for comments here.
I can't see anything.
I can't see who it is, but it says intentional connection. Yeah, making an intentional connection. So I guess that's, what we were talking about. How can we keep intentional connections happening? And what can that look like if it doesn't look like what we thought it was supposed to look like, or we thought we had?
There we go. There's a really good question.
Yeah. And so now we're at possibility time with this quote unquote problem, right? Now it has shifted to possibility. What is it? How else can I connect? Which is why I sent this lady a card, or I'd call her on the phone and I'd say, hey, I'm just telling you I love you. What are intentional connections that you can make that maybe look different than you'd ever thought of before?
That's really good questions.
Knowing what that person likes helps, because then you can speak their language. Do you know this person well enough to know what they like?
I know some of what they like.
Yeah. So how can you play off of that?
I have ideas.
How about this?
I have ideas.
That sounds like fun.
I think, like you say, when you know the person well enough, you know, it's the sort of thing, you can take them out for a coffee. You can just say, hey, let's stop the crazy for 10 minutes and go and have a coffee together. Let's,
Desiree. It's Desiree watching. It's Desi.
Hey, Desi. Hey, beautiful lady. It's about having those intentional conversations of substance. It's about,
I have an answer, but I can't type fast enough. Oh, that's what Desi wrote. I have an answer, but I can't type fast enough. You were saying, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Are you frozen? No,
I'm not frozen. It might be the person might appreciate flowers or a meal cooked, or they might appreciate a voucher to their favorite restaurant, or they might appreciate a bottle of wine, or they might appreciate a card, or they might appreciate a message. Desi is slow typing today. Desi is awesome. Just want to say Desi is absolutely awesome, and I don't care how slow she types. I'm always excited to see what she writes, because there's always a Desiism there somewhere.
blows you away.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just fantastic to have that connection with you, Desi.
You two and your writing. I can't even imagine if you two got together and wrote something. It would be flipping off the charts.
It would be fairly spectacular, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you're both wordsmiths and think outside the box people.
Box? Yeah. What box?
Yeah, exactly. Is there a box?
I didn't even know there was a box. If there is, you just can't cram me in it, because I'm just worse than the Jack and Box. I always find my way out of it again. Oh, yeah. No, that's good, Desi.
You're going to read it?
Yeah. So it's about changing your language. If we stop saying we should and change it to when are you free to?
Yeah. Oof. Shooting on people is just not good. And shooting on ourselves is definitely not good.
I think that I would like to say, would you like to go have coffee? Would you like me to cook a meal for you? Would you like this? Would you like that? Would it be helpful if? Rather than we should, because that way, and perhaps I'm being completely selfish, I'm showing that I'm thinking of them and their situation. I'm thinking of them and what they're facing. I'm thinking of them and the time constraints that they have, and saying I'm still here without saying the words, I'm still here, I need to connect. So in that way, I'm looking after that person's heart and looking after my own in the same time. So maybe that's a selfish way of doing things.
Can we be self-aware of our needs and also self-aware of others, or aware of others at the same time? I think we can. Making a relationship intentional, deliberately connecting, making a commitment to connect.
So is making a commitment to connect, going with that idea, deliberately, intentionally creating a moment to connect and following through on that, thinking about the other person, is that an act of sacrificial love or is that an act of selfish love?
Can it be both? Can it be a yes and? That's what I'm asking.
I believe it can be, because you're working hard to think about what the other person might be facing and what they might be thinking and what might be helpful to them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are fully aware of what it is that's going on in their life, or are at least partially aware, even the simple act of providing a meal can be something quite beneficial to all.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you love to cook meals for people and you can pour your heart of love in it. My husband says the cup of teas I make are better than anybody else's. I say it's because of the love I pour in.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to that.
Yeah. Anyway,
We gotta go. We gotta go. We've been here for 41 minutes. Oh my gosh. I was just gonna do a half hour, and then Desi started typing and talking, and we went a little longer. And we're so glad, Miss Desi. We're so glad. Thank you for chiming in and saying hello. We'll give you another 30 seconds to type any last things that you're in the middle of typing. Yes, because it builds your character as well as the relationship. See, there you go. That's the answer. Yes, and. She's so good, Miss Desi. We love you.
Love you to bits, girl.
All right. I love you, Miss Sarah. We'll see you in a week when we're back here to have another, what are we going to call them?
Intentional conversations of substance.
Intentional conversations of substance. An icon.
Hang on. An ICC, an intentional conversation of connection. Or an intentional connection conversation.
Yeah.
Just so long as it doesn't end up as being a T20. Sorry, the ICC is also International Cricket Council. So I was just...
Yeah, no, let's not go there.
Yeah, the T20, smacking it out of the park. We love you too, Miss Desi. Love you too.
We'll see you next week, Desi. We'll be back here at 11 a.m. New Zealand time in 1 week from now. If you are watching this and you're in America,
you'll just have to figure us out.
Convert it. I've been doing it for 8 years. It's your term. Convert it. Go and get Savvy Time extension for your Chrome browser and convert that baby. All righty. We love you all. Bye-bye. Ta-ta.